Welcome to King's Football Show. This is the Premier League podcast. I got with me a very special guest, a friend of mine, Bobby, Football Value TV. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, when Arsenal win, in general, it's a good weekend for me. Do you know how many weekends Arsenal ruined for me? So now,
Well,
now that
yeah.
we are winning, I have to make the most of it.
Last year they played on my birthday and they lost. This year they played. Was it the day before my birthday this year? So they won. So, but I was still kind of hard on Arsenal because there were still a few things that I just didn't agree with in that game. But
Yeah,
four wins out of four, and I'm not going to complain about that bit. It's just I'd like improvement so it lasts throughout the season. Do you know what I mean? I don't want this being a little bubble that gets burst and it all goes to pot. We need it
yeah.
to keep rolling and building on it as well. Not get
I
complacent, you know.
No, that's the thing with me, especially now when we've seen that these players are getting better. We have a solid foundation where if you just add a few more players, we could really be a stable top four team that could challenge for greater things. That doesn't mean that we're gonna win the league, but it means that you can go into the season with optimism that something special could happen. And I feel like we have an opportunity now that we probably haven't had since when Leicester won the league.
Yeah, yeah, you're
For
right.
me,
We've got to take advantage. I spoke to Sasha about this from Discord, and he was saying that we need to remember what happened wrong last season when we were doing well, and then everything goes wrong because we have a couple of injuries. We've got two injuries now, and that team was not the same yesterday at all. It didn't look right. It didn't feel right. We managed to get the result, which I'm happy with, but it just didn't look right, and that's where we've all discussed it and we've all agreed with the same positions. It's midfield and wing. We had those yesterday. To be fair, yesterday you could have also brought Vieira on. That's what I would have done. Would have brought Vieira on yesterday to add a little bit of something different.
yeah. No, I understand. I understand. For me, let's start with the first game of the weekend, which was Southampton versus Man United. Man United managed to scrap a win, 1-0. Bruno Fernandes. Did you watch that game?
Good strike. I have to give him. That was a good strike. That was beautifully
Yeah.
taken. I don't like the guy. I can't stand his moaning. Sometimes he's very good. Sometimes he's awful. But that strike was beautiful. But yeah, I did watch the game. I do slightly worry about Southampton long term. They've got some good quality talent,
Yeah.
but I do worry about them. They could be quite easily dragged into that relegation battle.
Yeah.
United,
Yeah.
United for me. I know they obviously we can officially say it that Anthony is joining United, so that's a new signing. But I guarantee, I'm 95% sure Ronaldo's going. So
Oof.
you know,
Wow.
and for me, I'm not that impressed with Anthony.
Yeah.
I've done a comparison with Saka.
Yeah.
Um, there's not much difference between them. And yeah, Saka can be great for us sometimes, but he can also not have a great game. And
Yeah.
Anthony's been playing in
Eredivisie.
Holland.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an Ajax fan, so I'm not being hard on the guy. I just
Well,
don't think he's going to be that thing that United are missing because he doesn't excite me. He's never excited me when I've seen him. He's been a decent player, but he's a bit like Gakpo. He's decent, but he doesn't excite me.
yeah, I feel like he's too much of a showboat winger where he needs to be more effective and focus more on having an impact on the game rather than just making step ups, exciting the fans, if that makes sense. Because
Yeah,
this is the Premier League. He won't be able to play the same way as he's been playing in Holland. And I'm not
yeah.
sure if I don't think he's worth that money anyway. I think they could have bought two, three players for 400 million euros that could have improved them.
Yeah, I've been doing a piece of work recently about
Yeah.
this because a lot of people go mental about the money. But what I have noticed, if you can find out the actual market value of the player, all the market values of the player for anyone that's been signed by someone that doesn't want to sell them, they are selling them for 3 times the market value. Every single player this season has gone like that. So Anthony's
Wow.
worth around 28 million, and he's
Yeah.
gone for 3 times that, which is basically it's hard to not say yes to, isn't it? Let's be honest. If double the price, yeah, that's quite a good profit. But if you're getting 3 times the amount, because that's what Morgan Gibbs White was, 3 times the amount that he was worth. It was hard for Wolves to turn down.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't when someone offers you 3 times the valuation of the player, you can't really turn that down.
Exactly.
But it's going to be interesting because he is a talented player, Anthony. He's gonna add something that they've been missing probably from Elanga, where I think Elanga maybe has the physicality, but he doesn't really have the flair or the technical ability of an Anthony. So at the end of the day, I feel like if you overpay for a player, if it turns out good, then that's fine. The problem is when it becomes like a Nicolas Pepe situation where you paid a lot of money for the player, he doesn't really turn up, and you can't even sell him for half the price because you've already overpaid so much from his valuation.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, did anyone impress you in Man United?
um, no,
I think Martinez had a good game.
yeah. I think the first game was a bit of a shocker, and if I remember correctly, we've had a few centre backs that have had a first game shocker, so
Yeah,
we've got to be wary of that. Martinez is one heck of a defender, but I think that first game was just too much for him too soon. He does the height thing that people need to stop talking about the height. I don't think that really matters. It only matters if as long as he's not marking someone like I don't know. I'm trying to think of a tall striker. Um, like if he was
Ivan
marking
Toney.
Kane, or
Yeah,
Ivan Toney or Kane, someone like that, then that's ridiculous. You wouldn't do that on corners or free kicks. But defensively, you can adapt to not have to head the ball. You've got Varane next year, or it'll be Maguire or wherever. So you don't need both centre backs to be big. That was like 90s football. You don't need to do that nowadays. So Martinez was the only one that I was really impressed with. But Casemiro, when he came on for those 10 minutes, yeah, he's going to cause trouble. Yeah, I like
yeah.
that.
I'm just quickly gonna go through the chat. Pick up everyone that tuned in. We got Brush in the building. We got Ed as well. He said, "Have a good one, boys. Away on holiday, but drop the like. Much appreciated, Ed. Honestly." And yeah, 156 subs to King. Good work. That's amazing. The channel is like 1 month old. I thought I would be on 10 subs right now. To have 156
No, don't, mate.
is more than I could ever dreamt of, and it's all to the community that we have. Everybody's helping each other. Everybody's sharing, liking, subscribing, and it's good. It's good to see. Big up Bargab as well. He's in the building. Big up Sasha. Good day to you two very fine gentlemen.
Thank you,
That's a
Sash.
nice comment. Big up Talk as well, my Man United brother. I hope you're well. I'm sure you're very excited to see Anthony. I know that you're a big fan of him, and it's King and the Arsenal version of me. Indeed, it is.
It's charming, isn't it?
And he's a special guy. So Talk is saying Anthony will bring the flair and attitude we've been missing, and also bring a confidence which is dangerous for the opposition. Imam, he will like. I see what you mean, Talk. I see what you mean. I like if you look at Marcus Rashford, he's been missing out on confidence for a very long time. You can say the same thing about Anthony Martial and Lingard when he was there. So you do need a confidence player. I'm just worried when you pay so much for a young player, that pressure on them that they have to perform week in and week out, and the English media, that worries me more than anything. But we will see. What we will see. Bargav is saying, what is the expectation of a non-British 100 millionaire player versus a British player? Do you want to answer that?
Well, I tell you, the 100 million British player has got a lot of British tax on him, so he's probably worth about 60 million in the first place. But the expectation. Oh, there's Moss. Actually, yeah, Moss. If the StreamYard link's in the chat. No, it's not. Where is it? Where is it? It's on. WhatsApp,
It's in the WhatsApp. Yeah,
yeah. Well, Moss has just come on.
I'll put the link to the stream here. If anyone wants to join,
there you go.
you're more than welcome. It's a Premier League podcast, so any fan is welcome.
I'm trying to, because we got Grealish. He was 100 million, wasn't he?
Yeah, Grealish was 100 million. Lukaku was almost 100 million. Pogba was 90. Maguire 80.
See, for me, I've said this for seasons now. I don't care about the money because the money's got nothing to do with us. It's all to do with the amount of money that Premier League are getting. So no matter what, at some point there's going to be a stupid amount that's paid for a player, like ridiculous amount. But that shouldn't really matter to us. It's as long as we're getting quality. So I think officially United are paying like £82 million in add-ons, with add-ons included.
Yeah.
Is he worth it? I don't know. If he changes Man United's fortunes, then yes, he's worth it. You know, as I said earlier, I've been doing this piece of work to try and understand why people are paying so much money. It's because it's 3 times the amount of the market value. You know, we paid. I think when we bought Jesus, we saved £10 million on his market value. He was worth 55 when we bought him. So, yeah. But he only had 1 year left on his deal. So, it's an interesting study if you look into it. But
yeah,
you know, Ajax ever going to turn down that money? They'd be mad not to. They'd be mad not to turn that down.
I think also foreign teams struggling with finance, seeing how much money is pumped into the Premier League, are making the most of it.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see this for a few more years, and then it's probably going to get back to a bit more of a normal market, because teams can't continue to spending 3 times or double the value of players year in, year out. At some point, FFP is going to come back and teams going to have to follow their books. So move on quickly to Everton versus Brentford, 1-1. Did you watch the game, first of all?
I've only seen extended highlights of this one. Brentford should have won.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But you know, Everton, this is what Everton will do. I said a few months ago that Everton, because of their financial issues, they're going to have to strip the car back and turn it into a Dacia. So it's a very basic football squad that's going to have to just grind out results, and that's what they're doing. If they sell Gordon, then that's more money for them as well. So, you know, good on them for getting a point, especially at Brentford, because that's not an easy place to get a point from. And Brentford will be fine as well. But yeah, good result for Everton personally. I think that was the better one for Everton.
Yeah, I saw the game. I can't believe Brentford did not win. Mbemba should have scored, Tony should have scored, and there was another big miss as well where they should have scored. But Brentford looked good. A lot of people thought they would struggle this season, the second season syndrome, and go down. I've said it many times, Thomas Frank is a very underrated manager. I rate him very highly, and I think Brighton will be fine. It was an important point for... Sorry, Brentford will be fine. It was an important point for Everton. They've not had the best start of the season. I worry, especially if they sell Gordon again, who's going to score goals for Everton. But they will be a tough team. They bought a lot of physical players. You know, Tarkovsky or Connor Cody is going to make it hard for a lot of teams. So if they can get in 1 or 2 attacking players that score goals, I think they'll be fine. But it depends on what they do before the window closes for me. That's where I look at it. Then we can move on to Brighton Leeds. Brighton again won. They've not lost yet. They got 3 wins and a draw. Another excellent manager in Graham Potter. I'm a big fan of Graham Potter. Um, I think he's done excellent work at Brighton. If you look at amount of player he lost every season, and he still managed to improve them, is impressive.
It
You
is.
know, in a very short period, he's lost Ben White, he's lost Dan Burn, he's lost Bissouma, and they are still second or third in the Premier League.
Yeah, they will have a drop at some point, but that's what Brighton do. They
Yeah,
have a very good start and then have a little bit of a drop off, and then they'll find enough form just to get them through the season. But yeah, Graham Potter and their scouting network as well have to be mentioned in this because they scout brilliantly. How they manage to find these players is beyond me. Because I know they signed Undev from some Belgian team and they sent one of their own players to them as part of the deal. And
yeah,
even he's good. That's the one that's gone out on loan. So
yeah.
it's actually crazy that Brighton
Ah,
managed to find these players. It's crazy. I have to, Graham
we
Potter, yeah,
need,
deserves.
yeah,
Graham
we need
Potter
a
deserves.
scouting team.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say because a lot of people say it's Graham Potter, but yeah, it probably is. But it's also the scouting network because obviously whatever they're doing they're
Yeah,
doing brilliant jobs.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think every successful kind of club, if you look at their size, they have a good manager and they have a good coach team and they have a good scouting department. Like you need all of those. You
Yeah,
can be the best manager in the world if you don't have good coaches, if you don't have a good scouting team, you can't really improve. For me, so yeah, I agree. I agree. Um, Moving on to our blue neighbors, Chelsea versus Leicester. 2-1 Chelsea. Gallagher got a red card. When I saw that red card, I thought actually Chelsea would lose. So fair play to Chelsea. What I will say is that are you worried with Leicester? Like what's going on with them?
from everything I know,
Yeah,
um, yes, I'd be very worried to be
yeah,
honest. Fafana is pretty much done or has been done as far as I'm aware. Tielemans, he could be going to at least 4 different clubs. Madison, that one's not hasn't been totally ruled out, so watch out for that one.
yeah,
But yeah, to because the strangest one with Leicester was one they sold Schmeichel. I thought that was crazy, but then they bring in Alex Smithies. Now, don't, don't shoot me for saying this, but Smithies is nothing like Schmeichel. You can't,
yeah.
you just can't replace someone like Schmeichel. And they only sold him for £1 million. £1 million. I'd rather keep him. If they sold him for 20 million, then fair enough. They sold him for
Yeah.
£1 million. You telling me you couldn't convince him to stay?
That's weird. I don't know. Did he fall out with Brendan Rodgers? Did something happen? Because he was the captain. I think he was one of the few. Him and Madison probably last season were the two best players for me. So I was surprised that they sold him actually, and I've not been impressed with. It's a Ward that's been starting for them the first few games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't understand why they sold him for 1 million. It's clearly better to keep him, but my understanding is that their owners during COVID struggle a lot,
Yeah.
and they don't have money right now, Leicester. So
Yeah. Whatever they bring in, they need to. I think it's about 60 or 80 million pounds. They have to keep themselves. They need that money to survive. So
oh,
yeah, it's pretty bad at Leicester. To be fair, it's one of 3 clubs that are struggling financially in the Premier League, and that's one of them. And they're pretty in bad state. But hopefully this week we'll see some movements of comings in and goings out for Leicester, just to hope that they can survive. But I do fear for them. I fear for Brendan as well. I think he might be losing his job as well.
yeah, yeah. If I'm him, I think I would walk even
Well, yeah, that as well.
before I
I w-
get fired.
well, I wouldn't blame him because it's
Yeah,
you can't have this team that were. To be fair, they were a shock team, but then they became quite amazing. You know, Harvey Barnes as well is a player that people keep forgetting about as well. I
Yeah,
forgot about him
I
for a
would
second.
take him. I would
Exactly,
take him.
I'd take Harvey Barnes every day because we need a winger that can play left and right, and Harvey can do that. So
Yeah.
there you go. But yeah, I'm surprised, but maybe that shows the type of respect he has for the club, that he's staying, trying to help him as much as possible. But and then will they sack him because what else? Who else could do anything with that kind of team? Because
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Especially if Madison and Tillemans and Fofana all three leaves. It's a
yeah,
very weak side with an aging Wadi, and Patson Daka and Iheanacho hasn't really been able to kick on as they probably hoped.
yeah,
Somare hasn't really been able to replace Ndidi, so yeah, it doesn't look right
no,
at Leicester. But it was a good win for Chelsea. They show character. Raheem scored 2 goals. Reece James showed that he should not be playing right centre back. Like, I wish we could have him at Arsenal. He's so good, Reece James. Like, he's so complete, and
yeah.
the way he crosses the ball or strikes the ball, like, he's a good player, Reece.
Yeah, Chelsea are just they haven't finished signings yet.
Yeah,
And I said to you, I know you disagreed with me and Moss did as well, that yes,
yeah,
Chelsea have gone for a change, but Todd's doing everything he possibly can, and he will complete that team by the end of the window. There might be some few shock signings there, but he will get everyone that Thomas needs, and you know, good on them. They're going to spend a fortune, so you
yeah.
know, because there's a
Yeah.
Crystal Palace player that's being mentioned as well going to Chelsea, so we'll stack one as
Ooh.
well.
Ooh,
Yeah,
wow, wow. Yeah, I think with Chelsea, they will probably have a decent season. I think because there's so many new players that are gonna come into that starting 11, it might take them a bit of a time. I think next year is the year to be worried for them. But
yeah.
yeah, and they won with the 10 man. It's impressive. Moving on to Liverpool versus Bournemouth, 9-0. Wow. It could have been 12-0 if Mohamed Salah decided that I should not have captained him. I do not understand. They scored 9 goals, 0 assists, 0 goals. Yes, I'm bitter. I am. Like,
There's this Arsenal guy that does TikToks, and
yeah,
he said like 9-0 Liverpool and Salah gets 6 points, and he just went ha ha. I'm like, that's just funny. I'm sorry,
Eh,
but out of 9 goals, Salah gets 6 points. I don't know how I don't know the scoring, the point system, but I'm
yeah,
guessing
yeah,
6
yeah.
is not great for a
No,
game.
it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. Like, do you know what the worst thing is, Bobby? Yeah, I was at the gym and I saw Liverpool 9, and I was celebrating because I thought I was gonna have so many points today. And then I start to check each goal, and I can't find him. And I'm like, this can't be true.
Oh, it's so funny. So what's saying
Yeah.
captain? So 3 times. Oh, so if you
Yeah.
get.
So he only got
Oh
3 points. So
Oh
he got
no.
2 points for playing 90 minutes and one point for clean sheet. If for every goal you score, you get extra 5 points, and for an assist, you get 3 points, and then there is up to 3 bonus points. So Trent, for example,
Oh
got
dear.
me 15 points. If I had captain Trent, I would have had 30 points instead of 6 with Salah. So yeah, you can see the difference.
You just couldn't. You couldn't make that up though. 9-0 and Salah pretty much did nothing for that game.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's crazy.
I feel like it's
Oh,
the big contract syndrome, but maybe he will come good soon. But yeah, Liverpool look back to their best again. I think they needed a big win, a
yeah.
big statement. They've been a bit unlucky this season, but they'll come good. I know that you feel like they're gonna struggle, and I agree they probably won't win the league. But to me, they definitely finish in the top 3 still. Mm. And it looks like they will try and get a midfield as well. I'm not sure they will manage to get one with the quality that they need, but
What I
we'll
will
see.
say, about that game, and
Yeah.
this is about Bournemouth as well, is when Bournemouth played away at City,
Yeah.
they could have lost 10-0 to them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
City literally went into second gear and then back into first. They're like, no, we can't be bothered with this. But Liverpool do not give up. So yes, that game is great for Liverpool, but there's still problems in that Liverpool lineup. Quite clear. The midfield, the midfield that they need a signing. I haven't heard any concrete. They are looking, but there's no concretes with Liverpool. I think they're talking about two, as in like to get one between two players.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bournemouth. I think, if I remember correctly, they've had this season before where they've come up and they had an awful away record.
Yeah.
It was their home where they were performing the better.
Yeah.
They're not
Yeah.
great travellers.
No, they're not. They're not.
Mm.
I don't know if it is because they travel so far to almost every game.
Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah.
They're not the greatest travellers, and that's been
No,
proven again at the moment. So
yeah. So move on to, I don't know. Should we call them Man City? Should we call them Erling City? Like
it's mad.
4-2. Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah. Must. Oh god. What I would say about City. Did you see that game? Because I had to watch it because Rich asked me a question about some referee decision. Did
Yeah.
you watch it?
Yeah, I did watch the game. I kind of feel sorry for Crystal Palace because I do think that goal should have stand.
Okay, this is
But
the
I
one
don't
that
know the rules.
Okay, this is the one that Rich probably asked me to look into. So obviously I watched the game a bit more because I had to find this instantly. It was on about. So you're on about when Ederson rolled it out and there's a Crystal Palace player.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Law 12-2-4. That's still a rule, and it is. You get an indirect free kick for it straight away. It's in the rule book now. So yeah, there is no.
Should Haaland have been sent off though with that high
Yes,
kick?
I believe he was, and I have already stated that very clearly because obviously I've watched the extended highlights. So I've already done my report on that, and yes, red card definitely, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and that's another decision. Like Haaland gets a red card, and Crystal Palace probably win that game.
Yes,
or at least draw. And it's one of them where with VAR we just have to become better with those decisions. The referees, you know my view on them. I don't want to give them a platform or speak about them too much, but
you've got the wrong person here for it, then, didn't you?
yeah, I know. But the thing is, like, they piss me off, you know. They really do, and I hope that they can just improve. Honestly, like this has been going on for too long.
Yeah.
And it's not good for English football. It's not good. Like
No.
we have to do better.
That
We
one
really
yesterday
do.
was a game changer, and that's what shouldn't be happening is game changers.
Yeah.
VAR should not be causing a game changing moment.
No.
Haaland should have been sent off. That goal should have been ruled out, and it was. So good for that one because that is a rule. It's literally in the book. I looked it up yesterday. But yeah, but all I would say is we all need to be a bit patient. I think there could be positive change November, December time. I know that's a long way away, but the person that's coming in is unavailable to do anything about anything right now because he's doing his other job. So I'm hoping November, December, a few changes are made, which will be better for the team, like for the VAR team. But the VAR in the UK is awful compared to the one that's in Europe, and that's wrong for me because ours should be the best, not Europe's. So yeah.
I mean, if we have the best league, the best players, the best managers, we need to have the best referees as well.
Yeah, exactly.
and that's where the quality difference between the level of everything else in the Premier League and the ref are too high, and they need to step up, please. Like, because we don't want to see decisions where maybe a team gets relegated because of they lost a game they should have won,
Yeah.
or it's
Well,
terrible.
see, I'll throw you to a long. I remember this a long time back. Bolton got relegated because the game they won, they would have won 1-0, but because the ref, one was off, clearly offside, right, days offside, and they gave it, and the other one, they literally pushed the keeper into the goal. I mean, literally pushed. You couldn't get any more blatant, and they both counted. So if they not both counted, they would have won that game. They would have stayed up. And that is the thing. And it's like you say, every team at the bottom end, us as Arsenal fans are probably privileged to not have to worry about gaining points to stay in the league, if you get what I mean. Right? But teams like Bournemouth and Fulham and Nottingham Forest, they're going to be...
Have
Well
you
done,
seen
Errol.
this comment from
Well done,
Solo?
Errol.
Jesus. Solo.
Oh, big up Solo.
Solo.
I couldn't keep my face.
So can I just make a I've just finished my point, and then I'm gonna come
Yeah.
to Solo in a minute. Like, he's gonna wish he's gonna be in a Solo in a minute.
Remember, the kids watch this. No swearing. I'm warning
Yeah,
you.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to. It's the referees. It's very difficult. But look, it's with every Bournemouth, Fulham, Nottingham Forest, they need every point they can get.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the season, that point could be the difference. I mean, a goal, like for example, that wins them a game.
Yeah.
That say for instance they win that game, but they have to win it by 2 clear goals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we saw last
And
season with Burnley how close it was.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that they could win that game, but yet because the extra goal they scored to win the game didn't count, when it should have counted, they get relegated. So they have to, it's because, and that costs teams millions of pounds in relegation, in selling players, and like the whole all the finances of it. So exactly the money's exactly what Footmoss has said there. Mistakes are too big, the money is too big. So yeah, they need an independent VAR. Yeah, they need an independent VAR. The problem is at the minute, for referees go up to the screen. If they're going to go up to the screen, you know they're getting changed. You know the decision's getting changed.
Yeah.
When sometimes in a dubious decision, right, a referee should just look at the monitor and just go, well, I still feel that what I saw was perfect, right? Because sometimes they are, and just stick with that decision, right? Because at the moment there's some decisions that VAR count which are not credible at all. So
yeah. I mean, the season is four games into the season, and we've probably seen over 20 major mistakes.
And that's not right. That's not for this. We boast to have the best league in the world, but we've got the worst refs in the world. Like, there's not even a lie. There's a reason they don't go to the World Cup. There's a reason they don't go to the Euros. Right? And as for you, Solo, right,
yeah,
this week, right, on your show, like, trust me, we're having that out. Like,
yeah. So that's perfect. Let's move on to Arsenal Fulham. Arsenal won 2-1. Let's try and not spend too long on this. Bobby, you can go first, and then we go to Stephen.
We deserved the win, but there was a few errors that I think were made by Arteta himself, not the players. I think the players did as much as they possibly could. Saka is knackered, quite clearly. But yeah, for me, that's as you see my ratings on our Discord. Arteta got a 5 for me because for me he made the errors. It wasn't the players. They tried their best. I can moan about Gabriel's error, but that's Gabriel. You know, we know what he is. He's got an error in him. So you know, we can't go hard in Gabriel if we're going to protect Xhaka all the time because Xhaka also made a mistake in yesterday's game as well. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to say Arteta needs to do some substitutions a little bit earlier than he does. That is all I'm going to say. I don't want to be this in and out, shake it all about person about Arteta. I just want him to start educating himself on making changes a bit quicker than he does, and then we'll be fine.
What about you, Steven?
I hear exactly what you're saying. For me, the fact he did make substitutions, it felt like he run out of ideas. Like for me, it didn't look like he had any ideas or a plan B of what to do in case something would have occur. So when the crisis did occur, we went 1-0 down, right? And we realised we weren't going to get any creativity on the pitch. He was like, "Oh, what do I do? I'll put Nketiah. I'll put Nketiah on." Right? For me, I would have moved Martinelli to the right, let Saka come off because he was knackered. Like put Smith Rowe on the left, right? So that way you could freshen up both wings because Saka it's like I've said, Saka's had his first rest last summer, right? Before that, he had played the whole of last season, the whole of the season before, right? And then all of the rest of the games before after the restart of lockdown, right? When football restarted. From that point, he's played every single game, 90 minutes flat, all the way to now. And people are wondering after 20 minutes, he's like, dead. Of course he's going to be dead. So, Gabriel is Gabriel, right? He's the best one but unfortunately, Saliba and Gabriel is our best partnership. Saliba, I do feel what you saw what you saw yesterday is Saliba holding on to Ben White, him holding on to Gabriel, and he's like, "I've got to cover both here. Like, I've got to cover
He's
both
right,
here.
though, that's the problem.
I've got to hold each other. Let's all
He's like-
hold each other's hands because
He's like the childminder. He's like the childminder for
he
Ben
is.
White and Gabriel.
Ben, for example, Ben
What?
White played a ball, right? For example, and immediately Saliba had to skill his way out of getting sold by Mitrovic, right? Because the pass was too short. So there's still problems there, and that's why I was still very critical about and the fact that Arteta he's seen these problems occurring, and I said even think the watch along, we're not careful, we might concede here, right? And lo and behold, we create the mistake and they concede, right? And it's only then he then realizes, oh, time to be a manager. Let's put him on, right? Let's start doing air traffic control, right? Does he not see what's going on? He needs to have some balls and actually make the subs, make
Yeah,
them
I think-
earlier.
For
Take the
me,
initiative.
I've heard you both your view on the game. Mine is a bit different. I felt like we were in control of the game. I felt like we were a bit unlucky to not score. I agree that we know that Gabriel has some mistakes in him, but obviously it's hard because number one, the way modern football is moving, you need a left-footed centre back if you want to play out from the back. That's where we are, and it's probably one of the reasons why we had a big interest in Martinez, where if it doesn't work out for Gabriel, we could have played him there. But other than that, I felt like it was a very poor decision by Saka to play that ball to Gabriel. It wasn't an easy ball to handle. And number two, I have no idea where Kieran Tierney was because he is the left back, but I could not see him. And I think Tierney was not very good yesterday, especially going forward. I do understand he's just come back from injury. It's gonna take time before he's up to match fitness. But
To be fair, I disagree with that. I thought KT handled that left side really well.
he was nowhere to be seen. With
No, maybe not defensively, maybe
Yeah.
not offensive going forward, but when I
Yeah,
look
that's
at
what I
left
said.
back, when I look at left
In-
back coming from injury, the first thing I expect them to defend, and that's the main
Yeah.
thing he did. Like, so
Yeah, he was good in one-on-one defending, but going forward, but that's what I said. Like he's just came back from injury, so I understand that he's not up to match fitness. But yeah, I felt other than that, it was good to see Eddie come in early. I think I want personally, I want to see more from Eddie Nketiah. I think he's improved. He should have scored, but that's also maybe down to the manager not giving him more minutes because he's not sharp enough. So if you come in 5-10 minutes every game, and since Jesus came in preseason, he didn't start a lot.
Mm.
He's obviously going to be a bit rusty. So let's see. I would not mind actually against Aston Villa to play Martinelli, Eddie, and Jesus on the right, and give Saka a rest, and then start Saka against Man United.
I don't trust him.
Yeah, I do. You don't. It's fine. But yeah, let's move on to Aston Villa versus West Ham. West Ham won 1-0. I've said it before. I'm a bit worried when it comes to Steven Gerrard and Villa. I don't know about you guys. Did you watch the game, Bobby? You know my thoughts on.
I thought you was going to call me out.
I don't know your thoughts, King. What is your thoughts on Steven Gerrard? You've never told me.
Yeah, he's an amazing manager. I think he's going to win the league.
That's
with Villa. Yeah.
No, but I think if honestly, if we beat him on Wednesday, I think he will struggle to keep his job. I really do think that about Gerrard. And that's not me with an agenda. I just think that Villa are expecting way better than what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, West Ham. I didn't get to see the game because obviously I had the Wolves Newcastle. So I've not had time to watch that one yet. So I don't really know what happened. I don't know who was the better team, but the actual result wise, I'd say I'd start to worry about Gerrard now because you're 4 games in. You're playing us on Wednesday at our ground. I'm expecting us to at least beat them 3-0. So, you know, that's going to be 5 games in.
But then, to be fair, I think there was one game, like, I think he's had this issue with Mings, right? And then the game he did play Mings, they played really well. Like, so I'm wondering, like, I think Villa could be still a hazard that we could trip over if we're not careful.
Oh, we've got it before against them, yeah.
There's still some.
Villa got quality players.
That's what I'm saying.
The issue is not the quality of the players. The issue for me is the tactic from Steven Gerrard, and I've said it many times. He's not convinced me yet, and I know that Villa's owners are very ambitious and they want to get into Europe. So the reason why they got rid of their legend Dean Smith was because they didn't feel like he was taking them far enough. And Gerrard, if he's not careful, as Bobby says, he could be the first manager that has to go. And it's a bit sad because he's a legend. Well,
I lost my £10 bet for Arteta.
I told you Arteta won't be sacked early. He was gonna be sacked. He's always gonna be at the end.
I'm trolling.
No, you're not. I don't believe you. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check your bank account.
I'm gonna check my bank account. No, you're not. You're gonna raid my bank account to get your Gucci bag.
Yeah, that's what. But yeah, Wolverhampton, Newcastle, Bobby.
By the way, where's my mod status and Gucci bag? Where is that?
Nah, I'm not doing it. I'm
No,
waiting
you're not
for
doing
the money first. Cash first.
Yeah, okay.
Wolves, Newcastle. As I've said months ago to Wolves fans that are panicking about Wolves, you're going to have to allow a little bit of transition from the new formation that Bruno Lage wants to play to 4 at the back into the 5. It's going to look a little bit different. It's going to feel a little bit different for a few games. It will gel. It will work. And Newcastle, again, both of those teams today are going to be challenging the top 10 easily. Wolves will make a couple more signings, I reckon, this
Do you
week.
think?
But they
do
could
you
be
think-
leaving. They could be
Bobby's-
losing someone as well.
Do you think Newcastle could challenge Europe?
This season, they could possibly get 7th.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what
I don't think they could go any higher. I don't think they can challenge the Big Six. 7th,
Yeah.
they could sneak.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've got my predictor coming at the weekend, so I'll let King know what I think anyway. But yeah,
Yeah, we could do a prediction show during the weekend after the transfer window's been closed. That could be interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, it's such a busy week this week. I haven't got time to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
mine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
mad.
it's
Actually.
That's why I wrote mine down this week, like because I've got. Yeah, so we're live because you got deadline day, so literally deadline day
Thursday,
takes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, deadline day. I've got to get back from the hospital, and then it's like you've got all day doing that pretty much, because I'm live pretty much all day. The only time I do that is to get a break, to get dinner. That's it.
Yeah. But talking about ref, I
Sorry.
do think the ref got the decision right when it came to the disallowed goal for
Yes.
Wolves. I know it can seem a bit harsh, but it was a bit unnecessary by Pedro Neto because I don't think even the player would have gotten the ball because he was out of balance. But Ruben Neves, what a player! I would love him at Arsenal.
Watch out for him this week.
I rate him higher than Tielemans, if I'm honest.
What
think
you're saying that Arsenal could get him?
I'm not saying Arsenal could get him, but
No,
I
he's
reckon
not saying
he could
Arsenal. He's
Be,
saying
he could be
thinks
moving
he
this
would-
week.
Yeah.
I've
to
heard a
another
rumbling
team.
about Neves, so watch
Yeah.
this space. For
If he does go to some other club, and we don't get a midfielder that's going to help us, I am going to be so mad.
I'm worried with Arsenal. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a midfielder in. I'm not gonna lie. I don't have any kind of information in regards to that, but I am worried. I had confidence before. That confidence has gone. If I'm honest.
Yeah, this. Do you know what? This guy literally like 2 months ago was saying Tillemans will be there next week. Stop panicking, Stephen. He'll be alright.
I can tell you what it is about Tielemans is Arsenal aren't convinced with him, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
There's been too many warnings with me about him as well, and I'm like, nah, move on.
But even still, we still need someone. We still need
King,
someone. And
King, how long have I said?
Yeah,
need a midfielder?
we. I think we can all agree that we
Yeah.
want to see a midfielder.
It's
That's
just
not
I don't
the
want
problem.
Tielemans, and I
Yeah.
don't want to settle for a second best. I
But-
don't want to do it.
Bobby, we've needed someone like
Since
Yeah.
Vieira left, I know.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So we waited 16 years
Yeah.
for an actual midfield, for someone to buy a midfielder for us.
Yeah. But Tariq has literally just said what I was on about.
and if
No.
someone and if
This worries me because he would do so well in their system, and he could replace Thiago, and he can play with Thiago.
The reason is Bellingham is untouchable this summer.
Yeah,
Untouchable.
he's.
He is-
I
he's
think
probably-
he will go Real Madrid actually.
Yeah, because next summer there could be some movement for him, but this summer he's no way he's going. But Neves, Liverpool, it kind of makes sense. Jota went there. They got a good link up.
Yeah.
So yeah, watch this space.
But do you think Arsenal will get a see him, Bobby, quickly before we move on to Spurs game?
You know how I only have one meeting a week normally? I have 4 this week, so that
Okay.
suggests that we're going to be busy.
Okay, good stuff. So
I'll
yeah,
hold you
guys.
to that.
I know you will, and he'll blame me then anyway. So
Just blame me.
Your guy said this. Your guy said that. No.
Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham. I watched that game. I felt like Nottingham were unlucky.
Yeah, they were unlucky in that game. I did all. Yeah.
If they were a bit sharper, they could not just have drawn. They could have probably won that game.
They should have won.
What
the
I
game, to
will
be fair.
say, and I've been saying that the whole season, Tottenham is not impressive, but they keep on winning, and that itself is a strength. I don't know if you guys agree.
I'll let
Look.
Stephen start first.
Yeah,
I mean, I watched the game, and to be fair, like Spurs had to win that. They've been winning their games the ugly way. To be fair, they've done it against Wolves, like scrounged the point, like literally, like scratched the bottom of the barrel to get a point out of freaking Chelsea. and they're only convincing wins Southampton. But look, to be fair, despite Dean, I think Dean Henderson did also keep him in that game, because the counter attacks that Spurs had, they could have scored 3 or 4 as well. But I'm for me, that was because of the counter attacking football from Tottenham, which was sometimes devastating. Right, which shows that Antonio Conte can do possession and also counter attacking football. And that makes him even more dangerous because you don't know what to expect. Yeah, so if basically I say it as this: if they had the 3 or 4 opportunities to win the game there, and then Nottingham Forest have also had the domination of the ball to be able to effective and score their own goals. For me, that should have been a 1-1 or 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
For me, it should have been
I
a
feel
draw.
like-
I think both teams deserved a point out of that game.
Yeah, I feel like Tottenham missed a creative central midfielder.
Sorry,
And I
I'll
think
just say as well that Nottingham Forest, I will say, is that you might see this a lot, is that Nottingham Forest, they'll stay up by all means, but there'll be certain games where, kind of like Palace did last season when they first under Vieira, where they should have won and they didn't, they get a draw, or they could have got a point, but they didn't, but they end up losing. But I'd say Nottingham Forest will still be safe, but you'll see that probably.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I think with Tottenham, yeah, they need a creative outlet centrally in the pitch. I think if they don't get that, it's gonna be hard for them against teams that will play with a low block and not give them space to counter attack, because they don't look that impressive in possession right now. From the 4 games that I've watched with them, they depend so much on Kane dropping deep to start their attack, and Son has another player has not been good this season. I don't know what's happened with him, but he seems to be very upset as well. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Richarlison is starting games for them soon, because he's looked good when he's coming from the bench, and
It
could
gives
have
him a different dynamic when he comes on.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, do you want to add anything more, Bobby, to the Spurs Nottingham Forest game before we round up?
I wasn't being a troll because I did a watch along on a different channel, and
Yeah.
I wasn't being a troll, but I went onto a Tottenham YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I asked them a question, and they were quite happy to talk to me about it and stuff. And I was like, okay, they actually see this what we're saying as well. They don't like the way that they're playing. They don't see what's wrong with Son. They don't understand why he's not playing, performing. They're calling for him to be dropped. So what I actually quite like the fact is that Tottenham fans are seeing what we're seeing as well. So they're not being deluded. They're not going, oh, we're winning. Because they're not happy with the play they're playing. I thought that was awful performance. I've seen Tottenham teams better than that, and they weren't winning anything. I know that they may be trying to change that tactic by playing horrible football so they might win something, but that's not a way to win a game. They were lucky with that game today. If Forest had a proper striker, I don't think Tottenham would have won.
No, I said that.
Do you know what? They might have also done. They might also have done Nottingham Forest a favour in winning that game, right? Because in winning that game, and Nottingham Forest having the opportunities they've had, if I was Nottingham Forest and I was their owner, their owner's been really ambitious already this summer, but I wouldn't be surprised if that owner would look at that game and well, we need a striker, and they'll go out and get a striker in the next few days. I wouldn't put it past them.
They did buy 2. They have bought 2. They bought Dennis and a one
the number 9 guy, and they both came on from the bench. So I think the earliest we'll see them get a striker would be probably in January, if anything. I think they want to give them a chance first to get into the team and show their qualities. Well, it was another good week of football. Another win for the Gunners. We have a quick turnaround On Tuesday it's games again. Wednesday again. So I'll try and do a preview show for Arsenal versus Aston Villa. I'll see if I can find even a Villa fan. It would be good to hear their views.
I've got one.
Speak to Martin. Speak
I've-
to Martin if you can, King.
Okay, yeah, I'll speak to Martin, 100%, and see.
I've
if we
managed
can
to
do it.
find. I managed to find one for tomorrow at 8, but I don't know if you could do it another time.
Okay, yeah.
I've got another one. I don't know if yours might be the same as mine, Stephen Ross.
No, mine's a different one. Carl, I don't
okay.
even like. He didn't even know that like it was going to be streamed on live stream.
Uh,
He thought I had to cut. He had to come to where I lived, and I'm like, no, mate, look, you just do it on your laptop, man.
Martin, I asked you to come to the show today. You didn't even answer me, yeah? And now you're asking me for a show tomorrow. I'm joking, my friend. But yeah, we'll try and do something. This week is a busy week.
He doesn't
because
want.
it's gonna
He
be
doesn't want to do. He doesn't want
FPL.
to do the show. He doesn't
No,
want to do
I
the
don't-
show.
I
He
don't.
realised he's fucked up this week.
Behave. So FPL show, Premier League show, deadline day transfer. Yeah, but it's good. We want to be busy. We want to have topics. We want to do streaming for the people. But
You
guys,
doing anything for deadline day?
I don't know yet. I'll see. We will see. I'll try and see if I can do something, even if it's
Because I'll
just
be
an
live. I'll be
hour.
live pretty much from 3 to about 6, and then 8 to about 11 once it's
Okay.
all over.
Yeah,
So-
I think I'll just do 1 hour show, nothing more than that.
Yeah,
But yeah, Bobby, where can
Yes.
people find you?
Oh, crikey. Could have warned me about that. Football Values TV and the new one, Football Full-Time Sports Network as well. I'll be on there tomorrow. King, if you're doing FPL tomorrow, are you doing FPL tomorrow?
It looks like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think we'll
Yeah.
do one show for game week 5. I'll try. Yeah. But I think tomorrow I'll be fine because it's bank holiday tomorrow, so I should be
Oh,
able
yeah.
to do multiple.
Well, if you're free at 7:30, there's a weekend preview again, just like this show, but with United fans, City fans. It's quite a lot of fans actually. It could be quite a good one tomorrow. But yeah, thanks, King.
Good stuff. I'm gonna put the link to Bobby's channel as well.
Cheers,
Guys, make sure you subscribe to his channel. He do a lot of content, and he also do content in regards to mental health as well. So make sure you subscribe to his channel. He's
Thank you,
very
mate.
good.
Oh, wicked.
And we got the man himself, the man who can't stop swearing and can't stop loving Arteta. Stephen, where can people find you?
Shut up. You are such a wind-up merchant. You're such a wind-up merchant. It's unreal.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. Like, don't. Like, remember where you got this idea from. Like, yeah, make sure you first of all check out the I'm still got the hashtag support Jez. Make sure you go check out that stream we did for Jez after what happened this week. So because like no matter what, you're entitled to your opinion, and though I'm Arteta out, right, and there's loads of people that might be
Wants to do
Arteta
a
in
show
right
with
now.
you, by the way.
Yeah, mate. Like, look, it's like I was just gonna say, whether you're Arteta in or I'm Arteta out, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. I'll have a debate about anyone, like, and like, I'll have a debate with anyone that respects my opinion, and
100%.
and that's what it should. That's what it's all about. So, but yeah, make sure you subscribe here first. Then, if you want, check out S-Feetly TV, where we do Arsenal, not just Arsenal, but Premier League / football content, right? But yeah, we're pretty much going to be chock-a-blocked all week because we've also got the F1 side of things on my F1 channel, which is S-Feetly F1, which make sure you check both of them out if you're also an F1 fan. And well, yeah, thanks for having us on, and yeah, I'll take her out.
Yeah, I'll put Steven's link to his channel. You can subscribe. Ignore his last sentence. Nah, I'm joking. But yeah, guys, honestly, thank you so much to everyone that tuned into the show honestly much appreciated. As you can see, the channel is growing, the viewing is growing. So I'm very humbled, and I appreciate everyone. I appreciate
Told you it
everyone
would, mate.
also who comes on. Bobby, Steven, Moss, Tariq. Everybody that's helped me. Tom as well. It's talk. There's so many people. Bagav, so many people in the community. CM who helps each other, and it's great to see. And
Mm,
this is what we love to do. We love to talk about football. We just fans. We just have different views, and if we can respect each other, that would be great. There was an
exactly.
incident that happened to an Arsenal fan, someone that I have a lot of respect for. His name is Jess. We have different views on Arsenal, but I have all the respect for Jess. And what happened to him should not happen to any football fan at all. And my condolence goes to him and to his wife for the attack on them, the assault on them. It's a disgrace, and we don't want
Exactly.
that. Like, guys, we can have different views on football. We can have
Can I
different views on the
can I make
manager, and
just one quick thing about that?
yeah, yeah, of course, of course.
Because I mean, obviously, um, it's great what you said there as well. But I mean, yeah, Jez is a gooner that's watched Arsenal since 1967, right? We shouldn't be abusing this guy because he doesn't rate a manager, right? We should be learning the history of our club through him. He knows history of this club that we wouldn't even know, like or the club would even know themselves. So people like them, we shouldn't be shooting them because they decide to have a different opinion about the manager. If they don't rate the manager, don't rate the manager. But go check if you just type in um, Arsenal, the history, and more into YouTube. You'll find his channel. Go give him a sub, right? And he's happy to have a debate with anyone who's going to be Arteta in, Arteta out. Right? In the end, what happened to him by not two fans? They're two thugs, right? They're two thugs, right? And I'm sorry, like say I know you like saying people like you people are gonna watch this show, but them fuckwits, right, are getting what's hopefully what coming to him and gets locked in a jail cell and and they throw the freaking key away,
Yeah,
right? Because they don't deserve to be part of our society. If you're going to attack someone, right, for just having an opinion, go live in North Korea because that's what they do on the daily, right? If not, right, be part of this society and respect people's opinion. If you don't, just do yourself a favor and get out of our society because I can't stand people that do that.
yeah. I'm just quickly gonna say before I end the stream, like, Jess should not. And the worst thing is that they did not just assault Jess; they assaulted his wife, and they
Why?
are two elderly people. They are both over the age of 60. To be attacked by teenagers just because Jess do not support the manager and wants another manager to be the manager of Arsenal Football Club should not lead to him being assaulted or physically abused by anyone. And my support goes to him and goes to his wife and to the whole Collins family. And I hope that maybe one day I could actually get him onto the channel because, as I've said before, I want the channel to be a voice for every football fan. I don't want it to just be a voice for a certain part of the fan group. And again, like, I'm someone where I come from, that's not how you treat people. But again, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for supporting me and coming to the channel. I'm out. Take care.